Okay, let's make things clear. Everyone was excited about the huge chance that XRP would hit $10,000, 0 cents, as early as the beginning of the year. Also, you know what? Things are getting a lot more like that, guess. BlackRock's Larry Fink is officially in favor of this. Take a look at this. It's not just $10,000, 0 cents per XRP. He's trying to say that it's a basic need. Hey there, let's quickly catch up before we get to the meat of today's post. Could you please do me a favor to join our great group? Just tap the like button, subscribe button, and bell button. Also, let me let you know, before we reach 60,000 members, we'll be giving away a lot of XRP. To join the giveaway is very simple. Do these 3 simple things. Now be careful and get ready to make sure you win the prize. Leave a money side code in the comments. Now it gets juicy. Think about big names in business like BlackRock and Vanguard are now really thinking about how to use XRP to do business abroad. Things will get better, don't worry. There are reports that BlackRock will put out an ETF that is all about XRP. That was what you heard, right? But there's more. Lawrence Frink did more than that. He is taking a look at the $30 0 cents trillion real estate market. Can you guess what will happen to it? That's it. With XRP, everything can be turned into tokens. The International Swaps and Traders Association is also sending a big $120 0 cents quadrillion through the XRP system and Ripple it. It's not just $10,000 0 cents per XRP. That's how kids have fun. Each XRP could become worth as much as $60,000 0 cents, which is a lot of money. That's really cool. Let's move on to the next part. Another big surprise came from BlackRock's Larry Fink. What he does is more than just talk. Things are going to get really big for Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency. Everything will be turned into tokens, and the people will be interested in the next part of our movie, which has a clip. The fact that BlackRock is moving toward an XRP ETF was revealed by Larry Fink. Let's not wait any longer. You are welcome to watch this now. One way we're making it legal and safer is by adding a Bitcoin ETF. You got another TF? How about another TF? How about XRP ETF? You have either out there. It's true. How about, could you answer that? I can't. Do you not want me to answer? Yes. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, they're making fun of me. In the world of crypto lately, a lot of strange things have happened, mostly when it comes to XRP. Take a look at this. Crypto.com, as soon as XRP hit the world market, its value went through the roof and topped $43,000, 0 cents. It's not a one-time event. This is another example of how the value of XRP is going up without notice. Remember how we talked about a $7,000 0 cent XRP bug at a big exchange last week? Let's look at Crypto.com next. It looks like these sudden price jumps for XRP happen all the time on different sites. Now, I want to talk about something else that I found after a lot of research. It's just as interesting, but it has nothing to do with BlackRock or the general rise in the price of XRP. We're going to talk about the well-known SEC head, Gary Gensler, who took over for Jay Clinton. As most of you may already know, Gensler always puts XRP in the security group. Now things start to get interesting. The twin brother of Gary Gensler is Robert M. Gensler. They look a lot alike and are the same age. Robert is a VP at T. Rourke and a very important guy there. You'll see that T. Rourke isn't just any business company if you look further. A lot of money is being put into it by one of the biggest ones. Of course, XRP is one of them. There's a strange link here. Gary Gensler, who runs the SAC, keeps saying that XRP is a security. However, his twin brother works full-time for a trading firm that has a lot of money in XRP and other cryptocurrencies. The difference between the two is interesting, and it makes me think about how complicated the world of cryptocurrency investments and rules is. Now we'll talk about an exciting choice Vice President of TI Price, Robert Gensler, might know something about, like they do about Bitcoin and Ethereum when it comes to XRP. This thought makes sense when you think about how much the company has put into these 3 cryptocurrencies. The CACA says there is no such thing as insider trade in public. There is, though, as many stories and studies have shown. Most of these probes have been about market manipulation and trading on inside information. They have often shown that the SEC is not acting in a moral way. It looks like a pattern is beginning to take shape. It looks like people who work at the SEC are telling their friends and family about which digital investments might not be stocks for much longer. Then this family spends time early. Once the asset is made public as not being a security, its value goes through the roof. These family and friends got rich by buying low and selling high. In this case, let's consider the possibility that Robert Gensler learned from his brother Gary Gensler how the SEC could lose a case against XRP. This kind of information could mean that Congress wants the SACE and Ripple Labs to make a deal. People who want to buy XRP should seize this chance right away. But seeing this story gets more interesting when you put more money into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most importantly, XRP. People who work with cryptocurrencies often talk about how XRP could reach unbelievable highs of $10,000, 0 cents, $20,000, 0 cents, or even $60,000, 0 cents. People who have been bullish on XRP, like Jack the Rippler, think it will go through the roof and even go over $589, 0 cents. This statement is very bold, but it shows how much people are thinking about and interested in XRP and what it could mean for the cryptocurrency market. Wall Street wants a piece of the XRP pie because it makes so much money. I think the first one will be an XRP ETF, big play, but let's find out more. This changes more than just the surface. Crypto Basic has some cool news for us. An expert says that JP Morgan has put a lot of money into XRP, which has the attention of a person who used to be the head of Ripple. I raised a question when I heard this, and we need to talk about it. This is how the story goes. One of Ben Armstrong's old jobs was with the BitBoy crypto brand. He said some controversial things about JP Morgan's supposed investment in XRP, which made a former Ripple director angry. Answer: Armstrong wrote several posts about this. He is a well-known figure in the crypto world. He says that JP Morgan bought 7.5 million XRP tokens, which is a lot. Armstrong now says that this move is worth about 7.5% of all of JP Morgan's money. But wait, this math doesn't make sense. 4.46 million XRP is a very small amount compared to 7. 5 million XRP, 5% of what JP Morgan has in cash. Armstrong's math doesn't quite add up when you think about how big JP Morgan's assets are. $3,890 billion, 0 cents as of 2023. The fact that JP Morgan is supposedly stockpiling XRP as part of a plan is still very important to Armstrong. If you ask him, this makes JP Morgan an up-and-coming Bitcoin force. We've heard that big Wall Street banks like JP Morgan might want to get involved with crypto, and especially XRP. Also, the numbers may not be very good, but the idea of big banks getting into crypto is interesting. That shouldn't be forgotten. It's a big